tend to assume and expect that things are not going to work out well? So do you constantly think in a negative fashion? You always go around in your head and assuming the kind of the worst scenario or a bad scenario. And therefore, life is actually difficult for you. Things are maybe stuck, you go round and round in circles. A certain situation or several situations in your life don't resolve themselves and you get more and more stressed. You feel like you are at the end of your strength and you probably feel tired and drained. And have you actually stopped and looked at this carefully? See, most people go around this hamster wheel of negativity. They know they are doing it. They are kind of catching themselves thinking negatively in certain situations. But because it's so familiar, you're not really waking up from that drowsiness of going around in that circle, you know? Because when you're not fully awake to it and aware of it, it's a part of you. It's like, you might even say, well, that's how I am and who I am or what I do. And that, of course, isn't the truth at all. This is not your true self. This is not who you truly are. So the first step, when you feel that negativity, you feel that the effect that it has on you, that you feel drained, you feel tired, and you have lost your joy, and you do feel you need a lot of support. You want everybody else to help you. Maybe you shout at people. Maybe you are expecting your family to complain, to not like what you do, to judge you, to do it wrong. Maybe at work things are difficult and you can't get to that place, the promotion, the better job within the company, because you're constantly having a negative outlook. You know, most of the time what goes hand in hand with this is, and please let me know in the comments if that's true, you are not trusting yourself. So you are basically repeating the negative judgments or the conditioning that you got from your parents or teachers or siblings or peers, that they were always on about you, how you should be doing and you shouldn't be doing it. Maybe they were telling you, don't do it like that. Or they were implying, if you are going to get good grades, then you're going to get that reward, whatever it was. And you might have heard that whatever you did, it just didn't give you any praise. And so you were working so hard and there still was no reward, no praise. And you became a perfectionist and you couldn't trust yourself anymore because all your focus and your strength was really with the people around you. If they wouldn't give you praise, you would feel bad. So for you, the achievement was not worth anything because you didn't get the praise. And it's very often coming from that place of believing that whatever I do is not good enough, it's not working, I can't succeed, it's just not perfect enough, I should have done better. And so what I'm liking to ask you now is, if you want to help yourself, if you had enough of going around in circles, thinking negatively, write out what you're thinking. Make it actually obvious. When it's on paper, it's becoming a lot more obvious. And you're spending time hearing what you're saying rather than being kind of dulled down, you know, and going on this default unconscious mode where you might be aware of something negative going on, but you're not fully aware of what is it that you're telling yourself. So write that out and write everything out that comes. You know, spend maybe 5 minutes on writing a full A4 page. Empty yourself, let it come out. Because the minute it becomes more conscious and you are really seeing what you are thinking, that's the minute when you can change it. And I can tell you a story about this. Actually, last summer, I was dancing my beloved tango. I've done that for many years. And I've noticed myself speaking negatively towards myself while I was dancing. Oh, you could have done that better. Oh, that wasn't very good. Oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. All the time, I was kind of commenting and judging myself as if I was a judge, and not really enjoying the dance because of that, and not feeling relaxed and not feeling in a joyous mode. I was focusing on picking things that were wrong and trying to make myself better that way. And when I really saw that, I suddenly became very aware of it, because I was sharing that with someone else. And because I was speaking out my own thoughts, I was hearing them. See, when you're just thinking them all the time quietly, you're not hearing them for yourself. And that's why I'm asking you to write it out, because that's very similar. Or tell someone, of course. But when I really became aware of what am I saying to myself? Oh my God, I'm not going to do that anymore. I decided in that minute. And that decision is mighty powerful when it really comes from a place of full presence, full awareness, and an intention. No more of that. From now on, I'm going to allow myself to dance as I am. I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to not do it perfectly. I'm allowed to learn. And very importantly, I'm allowed to be as I am. I am now choosing to love myself. So that's the second step. Instead of being on about you all the time, like maybe your parents were when you were little, or your teachers, or your peers. Someone in your life pushed you. Someone in your life said that you were not perfect as you are. But that's someone else outside of you, isn't it? You are not that person. That person has got no idea about you, how you do things, how you enjoy things. And it has actually zero business with interfering with you. Nobody should ever tell you what you should do, how you should do it. And if we didn't have that interference and the conditioning, that we were told, I only want you to bring home the best grades, otherwise you're not going to get your driving license or whatever, So take back your power. No more believing in all that judgment and the criticism and the perfectionism that you took on from your parents. And now it's time to love yourself as you are. This is so important, especially for the empath. As an empath, you will only ever feel really comfortable when you are in a loving atmosphere, right? When there's harmony, there's peace within, there's peace around you, the family is happy, you've done your best, you've helped in a way that you love helping, and they received it, and you also get support. So everything flows, everything is in harmony. The people around you and the close people within your life, they are harmonizing together. That's the ideal world for an empath. And what is also very important with that is that you're giving love to others and that you are receiving love. And giving love to others includes actually you. So number one rule always is to give yourself the love that you give others. But now make yourself number one. So instead of being unkind to yourself whenever a situation isn't flowing, or when you think you should do better, and when you think you have to really overgive and do so much that you feel drained and tired and exhausted, because that's your old familiar identity. Now become aware of that this is no longer working. This is not loving. This is having a whip behind you. So if you want to gain more self-trust and become loving towards yourself and stop all that negativity, it's really important that you become aware of it, and then you turn it around and you're thinking loving thoughts towards yourself, you're speaking lovingly, and you're only doing those things with others, or when they ask you for help, or when you think they expect you to do everything for them. Stop. That's not loving, isn't it? And also, it's not loving to do everything for your children, and just because they think, oh, mom is going to do it anyway. Don't do that, because they are not learning to be loving to themselves. They are learning to wait for someone else to do it, to be served on them. They expect that, and they are not learning to be responsible for themselves. So love also means discipline, that you learn to discipline yourself to always be loving, to make being loving the number one thing in your life. That means speaking from love, thinking from love, and acting from love. And if you're not doing that, you are likely to feel really negative. You're not trusting yourself and you're not loving yourself. So by actually embracing yourself as you have been, embracing the judgment, that's fine. And now choose differently. What you want to do instead, that's loving. And that is then the next step that will really shift things. You see, when I did that about half a year ago, I was ready for that. So I didn't do it again. Yeah, maybe once or twice a little bit, but it wasn't the old familiar trot that I used to have. And I corrected it immediately. That will happen. You have to correct yourself, and that's fine. You're not going to be able to go from judging yourself all the time to not judging at all. So give yourself some grace, which is also being loving, isn't it? And love also allows yourself to be as you are. So if you're tripping up, then you allow that and you're correcting that with love. It's always done with love. You're always treating yourself with love. That's exactly what you needed as a child. Your parents weren't able to give that because they didn't have that. So now it's time that you treat yourself with love. And when you treat yourself with love and you allow yourself to make mistakes, you allow yourself to learn and to grow, that's when you are naturally becoming the person who you naturally are. You're not the person who has a whip behind her anymore, but you are the person who is naturally developing, who is embracing the path and the learning curve, and who lets go of perfectionism. Because only then you can be your true, authentic, loving self. And you need to get rid of the blockages, you see. Your natural, authentic self is always present. But when you are believing in negativity, in judgments, in beliefs that are telling you, I'm not good enough, I should do it better, it's never going to work out, I just can't do it, I always fail, those beliefs are blocking your self-love and your self-trust. See, I couldn't trust myself because I was full of doubt. And when you don't have self-trust, you are probably giving your power to other people, meaning you are leaning on them. You want them to tell you what to do. You want instructions from them because you always think that you can't get it right. This is ingrained, but you haven't uncovered that belief. You haven't become conscious of the belief that's running underneath everything. Oh, I can't do it. I will always fail. Or you fear you will fail, and therefore you better don't dare doing it on your own terms. You ask other people or you rely on them. And that way you can never learn self-trust, right? So it's important to go really deep to uncover what's hindering your self-love and your self-trust. And when you are uncovering that and you are embracing that and you're allowing it to be there, you have come out of this vicious circle, that hamster wheel you've been on. And you can step into a more aware space where you are looking after yourself and you're directing yourself from consciousness rather than from unconscious familiar patterns. So if you want to find out how much you are already living from peace, I've actually created a self-assessment PDF for you that you can just download. You can just share it. It's just a Google Doc. And you can answer the questions that I've given you there very honestly and give yourself time. Don't rush it, and be really honest and straightforward and loving with yourself. And it's very revealing to give yourself an insight on where you need to work on to actually receive more inner peace. Because inner peace is, of course, a given when you are loving yourself. It just comes naturally. And when it's still lacking, that means you're not loving yourself enough. And your power is elsewhere outside of yourself, with other people, but not with yourself. Okay, I hope this helped you. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more self-love and self-empowerment tips. And I see you next time. And don't forget, love yourself no matter what.